Brilliant. Right. So let's start and we'll see how everybody goes on. So before I start, I mean, I've got some things I want to cover. Is there anything that people would like me to cover today?
Can you just have a quick chat about the new format?
The new format of the training?
Of the training, yeah, because it alternate week sort of thing.
Yeah, okay. So what we're finding is that more and more people are booking software training sessions as individuals. So what we've decided to do is split the training so that on the first and the third week of the month, we'll do a resources training, just like I've been doing. But we've got various practice growth experts coming in with their take on the different resources. And then on the second and the fourth week, we'll do software. So we'll do either a general overview of the software, or if there's specific tools that people want us to look at, we'll look at those. Just because I think there's more and more need to just get head around some of the more complexities of things. So it's more about, to be honest, leveraging my time, because if I've got like 4 different training sessions in a day, I can't take calls. So it's about managing that. If people don't like that, that's fine. We can go back to the weekly training sessions. It's not a problem. We're just going to see how it works for a month or 2 and see how we go. But again, give me your feedback. And if you do find that, you do want more regular training ones, or you want extra things, then we'll do that as well. But I'm also going to be starting to run the proper roadmap workshops again, which means that then there'll be some much more intensive training around the workshops. Whereas before, if you remember, I was just doing like 90-minute sessions. So you'll see that we'll start getting a list of when I'm doing the roadmaps. So has anybody got anything they particularly want covering today, or shall I just dive in? Okay, well, I'll dive in and then you can just add stuff as we go along.
Hi Emma, just it's my first time here, so I just will listen anything just because it's my first time and at the beginning.
Brilliant, that's great. And then if you've got any questions at the end, drop me a line or put them in the chat box, and if need be, we can have some extra.
Fantastic, thank you.
Brilliant. Right, so I thought I'd actually start with adding additional services to times, but more importantly, adding your marketing for it, because one of the things that we tell you to do is to create your windows of opportunity chart, don't we? To think about how can you cross-sell, how can you engage your clients with the whole range of services that you have. Now, within Time's Up, we do have quite a lot of services in there, but there's probably extra things that you might want to put in there. So one of the resources that we have that is not actually built into System Builder, but it's very simple for you to do, is called Sure Start. So Sure Start is a package where you help businesses that are literally just starting up. And how do you create a package that helps them? So I'm just going to share my screen, and I will show you my, okay. And I'm just going to open the system a little bit bigger. So in the knowledge base, amongst all the service requests is one called Sure Start. Okay. And there is a whole series of resources about how you do things. So having a meeting with them, thinking about checklists to help them, making sure that they start, things like that. Okay. So it's important that you have a whole suite of resources about delivering Sure Start. So if I just have a very quick look at the system, just so you're aware it's there, okay, you can see that obviously we've got a system for signing up, but we've got a very different agenda for new people. We've got a service request form, which is the bit I'm going to look at in a minute. And then there's all sorts of checklists to help people think about, are they really in business and should they need some help actually setting things up properly? Because so often, isn't it, we get to usually after the first year when we get their records, and then we've got to fix all the stuff. So actually, if we make people come to us at the very beginning, it can be really, really useful. So the Sure Start service request sheet basically is our marketing tool. So like all the other resources in System Builder that are service request sheets, they are an idea of how you explain the offer to your client in a way that connects with them. And you can see that in this one, there are some things in here that obviously only if you are an advisory member you would be able to do, the blue things. But again, you can edit this, and that's what we're going to do in a minute. So the first thing it's doing is explaining to people that factually a lot of businesses fail, and part of the time it's because they've not had professional advice from the beginning. So it's about having that information. So we're going to help that. And now I know not everybody wants to work with business startups, but there are an awful lot that have happened in the last year, and probably still will, because of the way that business trading has changed. So we need to start giving that advice and start being the person that people see as the advisor to come to whatever. And we know that what's most important at the beginning is cash flow. So at the very beginning, we say, well, actually, what we're going to do is there'll be an upfront payment, because there is a lot of work to do at the very beginning to set you all up. But then the balance is spread over 10 months. Okay, so make that easy for you. So we do get the fees we want. Now in here, we've got a bit of an idea of what that package could be. So in this case, we've got our 5, 4, and 3-star, but we've actually got a 2-star here, which is sort of really basic stuff. Okay, and with each of these, just like that, we've got a little list of those things. So you could build up packages within Times Up that do this, or you could just have your Sure Start package, 5-star, 4-star, 3 stars, build it in. Now, the important thing here is to think about, okay, are you happy with these numbers? Everything around here is obviously explains about what we're going to do. We're going to give them some advice. We're going to give them some bookkeeping training, because that helps us, doesn't it? Give them a little bit of advice about how to set up stuff, get them connections with either an IT consultant, a solicitor, or a financial advisor. So that's not us doing it, but connecting them to people. Perhaps getting them part of our business club if we do an online club, or some sort of regular webinars, have monthly meetings with them or quarterly meetings, because we want to make sure that they're staying on track. And then we'll make sure they've obviously got cloud software stuff in there, and we'll perhaps do a cash flow forecast for them as a planning tool. So again, we can use the software we have, or we can just use a very basic spreadsheet for that. And in the first year, in the first 12 months, we'll perhaps give them some discounts for payroll and bookkeeping, because we want to get them on track as in the right place. So this is an idea. You may or may not like this. So if you don't like this, the first thing to do is download it. Okay. And what happens then is it creates it just as a Word document, which of course it's just opened on my other screen, just to be really confusing. Why is it always the same? Just, everything works until you come on the here. So let's start the sharing. I'll just share this, the Word document, and then we've got it for everybody to see. So this is the document. Because it's now a Word document, we can change it however we like. So it might be that you've decided that that 2-star, because actually we're giving them some advice in part of that, then maybe a £500 isn't enough. Maybe there should be an extra, just a basic little thing that just connects them. So you could say, okay, let's just change that, the 2-star, that we just want some sort of buying relationship. So even if it's £15 a month. Okay, you choose, and obviously everything in red you're going to need to change to make sure that you're happy with those prices. But whatever you've chosen to change, that's fine. Okay, once you've changed it, all you need to do is make sure that then you just save it. Now it's just going to save it in your downloads. Okay, and then back in System Builder, so let's go back into System Builder. You create a WIP version, a work in progress version. And then you will upload your new version. So let me just...
Emma, we're still on Word.
Are you? Okay. Thank you. having some challenges with my sharing screen today. Share. There we go. Can we see System Builder?
Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. So all we're going to do is upload the file. So I'm just going to go to my downloads, find my latest version, which is just there, connect it in, make sure it uploads it. Sometimes it doesn't show it straight away. So just do a save and exit and just check. And then you can just check it is bringing in your version. So there you go with my £15 plus VAT. And then just a reminder that when you do change things, the very important thing is that for if you're changing any of the templates that are in System Builder that are connected to Times Up, Benchmark, On Track, all the others, you need to make sure that this status, so I've put a new price in for to start, that this is actually turned to green because the software will only read the green version. So you need to set it live. Now, only you as the administrator for the company can set these things live, or your systems champion, whoever you're giving permission to, okay? And you need to make sure that in this case, it's green. Now, having done that, you've now got your latest version in System Builder. So the trick then is to get that version and that setting into Times Up. So in Times Up, we just open Times Up for now. Okay, I'm now wanting to put Sure Start in as a new service because it's not there. So in my optional extras, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, I could either put it in other services or I could put a new one. I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to add an extra item. I'm going to call it Sure Start Package. Okay. Businesses. Okay. Now we could set up Sure Start Package 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, or we could have a lookup table and set it up so that, you know, if it's a 2-star, so if it's 2 to 2, oh, change that one. Then we've got that price of which was £150 plus the £650. Okay, and then we can add the next one. There we go, and we can put in our 3 and so on. Okay, and put in your price. I'm not coming today, I do apologize, but you can build those in. So you could do it that way, or you could do it 2, 3, 4, whatever. Okay. Now, the important thing is we want to have a related document to this because we just created that. So where it says related document, if you click on the arrow, okay, what it's going to do for me now is it's going to create a very small squashed version for some reason of the knowledge base. So in this search engine, all I want to do is type in Sure Start. I might want it filtered by, in this case, service requests. So I'm going to go down and find the service request. There we go. And do a search, and it should be able to find my Sure Start. There we go. And all you need to do is click on it and check that it's the right document. Okay, it's not looking at it now, is it? Then once you're happy with that it is the right document, you click the back arrow and that document is then connected. So you can put in as many different services with supporting documents as you like. So I can now go back, go into one of these, create a quote, go into your business, obviously fill in all of this stuff. So sure, that was the hairdressing, but there you go. very fast short start, isn't it? Let's do that one. And actually, rather than doing the accounts, we could just do a no accounts, and I can go straight to my sure start package and switch that on. So that allows me to pick, like I said, I pick bands, didn't I, in there. Now, again, what you need to do is make sure that this wording here is right. And then the connection through, so you can see the documents. So it's really useful to have that information that you can put those documents in wherever you like. Oh, sorry, I did forget something. That's why it's not connected to the document properly. Before I go into a quote, I need to do a sync, okay? Because the sync then pulls through the latest version of that document. Sorry, that was my fault, Mr. Step. So what that'll do is pull through that sure start document now as a connection. So you need to do that. So every time you change a document in System Builder, make sure that you sync the software it's connected to, Times Up, Benchmark, whatever, to make sure you're getting the latest version of that document. So it's really, really useful to do that. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you in System Builder was the fact that, I don't know if you've spotted, but we did update all the fixed price agreement templates. Now, I'm guessing that most of you have changed them for different things, whether it's just putting in your logo or changing the guarantees. So I just wanted to make sure that you can check, okay, that you've got the right fields in, because one of the things we spotted was that sometimes it's not bringing through on some of them the right year end. So it'll say year end 30th of December, but it won't say year end 30th of December 2021. So you need to make sure that those fields that you've got in, that you're picking the right ones. We've updated it on our latest versions, but obviously if you've already edited yours, that's something you need to just check. It's the same with, there was something else, number of payments, I think it wasn't coming through properly, and also the discount sentence. So if you have put a discount in thing on your quote, you need to make sure that that's built in so that it's clear. So if you're finding that your fixed price agreement isn't coming up with the fields exactly as you expect, first of all, look at this document. So fields you can bring into System Builder templates. So that's any field that goes through, or give me a shout. And what I'll do is dial in and I'll help you fix it, because I don't want you to be not getting the right fields and the right descriptions. So that was the first thing that I wanted to discuss. The second thing is that I think that at the moment, let me just close that a second. I think at the moment, this is a really good time to talk to people about helping them positively grow in the next 12 months. And one of the things that we've been talking about, haven't we, is actually what sort of added value tools can you show them? Again, what sort of tools can you open their mind to possibilities? So I was wondering whether or not you need to all go back to the AVN Roadmap Value Calculation that you've got in Coach Accountable. Sorry, brain's not working. So I was thinking perhaps we need to have a look at that. Excuse me. Sorry. And just have a quick think about some of those numbers. I was doing it with some firms the other day, and if I just again share my screen, so let me just. Okay, so this is the template that you have. Possibly doesn't have that instruction box in there, but you will have it, and it will be in Coach Accountable under your numbers section. And I was just putting some basic information in here. So I just wanted to put some number of business clients. What the average fee is. and the number of tax returns. So one of the things that on the value page that it looks at is it looks at if we just engaged our clients with even one or two things, what a difference would it make to your turnover? And a lot of you, you know, there will be changes this year. We will have lost some clients will have grown, some clients, when you do times up, their turnover will have dropped. And so you've got things that you need to be lifting your turnover too. That's part of the goal, isn't it? And those of you got you know, access to the advisory stuff, it's a really good time to start getting people connected with some of these things. I mean, in this case, I mean, I don't know what your numbers are, and I'd really like you to do it. I mean, when you look at just a percentage, even when I put in very small percentages, but actually just look at the number of clients, I only need one person to want to do goal setting with me, and that's £600. Now, when you're talking about what sort of goal setting is, you've got the resource and system builder. It's a really simple process. It's not difficult. If you think about personal balance sheets, and we talk about the value they are for IHT planning, or the value they are for people working out what their net worth is, and therefore how much do they need to grow their business by for it to be the value it needs to be when they retire. Even just getting two people interested is another £1,000. You know, and that's a spreadsheet that's very simple to fill in. You actually get the client to fill most of it in, don't you? And then you just discuss it with them. It's not challenging, you know. These days, there are people who want business plans. And again, that's up to you. Or maybe cash flows. And again, you see, I've kept really, if you think about your client base, particularly if you think about your A, Bs and Cs, obviously your Ds maybe not, but surprising, some Ds like the personal balance sheet, you know, it's interesting. But for a lot of those clients, your A, Bs and Cs, there is a big opportunity to say to them, look, it'd be really important perhaps for you to, you know, have management accounts. To get 2 extra clients doing management accounts, you know, what difference would that make? Doesn't have to be a lot. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to go back to your numbers, your input sheet, okay, and have a look at the value page and think, okay, who could I approach? Who could, if I only need, you know, one person to be interested in this, who can I approach? I think sometimes what we think is we need lots of people. We think it's going to be a lot of work. We think, well, we haven't got time to do this now. How can we fit this in? But stuff like the personal balance sheet, where you're getting the client to do nearly all the work on the spreadsheet, and then all you're doing is discussing it with them, you know, you're helping them to pull that together. And then part of the fee is for you to keep that version, that document safe, either in their portal or whatever else, so it's accessible for them for any other financial advice they need or planning. You know, that's a really simple thing to get people to do. And yes, you may choose to charge different fees. And again, that's your choice too. These are just the standard fees that are in System Builder. For example, the key sales driver meetings, that's those 6 sessions on simple stuff that works. You only have to have one person who goes, yep, actually, I would like them. You know, you show them the first session about pricing, and all you need is one person to say yes, and you've got another £3,000. So when you're thinking about your targets and how you can increase your fees, just step back a bit from the compliance and think, okay, who can I approach? How can I talk about this? Maybe it's that you just put a little blog up, or you put a little video up, or you send a video to all your clients going, I'm so excited. I just wanted to share with you that I've actually got access to a great tool that helps you look at your key sales drivers, that actually shows you how you can grow your business and the impact of doing small things, just little things that could have a massive impact on your profits. You know, I'd love to show you it. Book a session, drop a line, come along to a webinar where I'm going to show it all and get those leads. So I just wanted to bring you back to that and say, okay, this is something that you ought to be thinking about. When we're looking at this, yes, at clarity at the beginning, we're looking at pricing, we're looking at efficiency, we're looking at referrals. In positioning, we're looking about, thinking about how we can identify how we get better conversion rates for prospects. But in value, there's so many extra things you could be delivering very, very simply. And that's why we spend so much time at the beginning saying, how can we free up your time? What can we do? And sometimes that involves taking some really brave decisions. But what can we do to free up your time? Because how many other times can you earn £600 for maybe an hour's work? Where actually it's all there in a session. So just think about that and think about how important it is in order to hit your goals. Most of you, we've sat down and we've looked at your personal goals and we've said, right, what does your business have to achieve in order to give you those goals? Now let's start getting some numbers on that plan and actually thinking about one person. Let me just get one person on that. Let me just get 2 people on that and come up with a plan. So use this tool is what I'm saying. You've got it in Coach Accountable, use it and set yourself some targets. And then on your 1-page plan, which again, you've got in Coach Accountable, set yourself a goal. I'm going to talk to 3 people about a personal balance sheet this month. Okay. And then move that forward. So I just wanted to remind you really of that. So I wanted to just, today it's just about pointing out different things to you. So I just wanted to remind you that you've got these tools that support you. The last one is for those of you that are ready to almost take that next step. I know for some of you it's a bit early, but some of you I know are great at talking with clients, are really great at having those meetings and helping people and find out things. And so you may have noticed on the What's New that Jenny has updated the Business Edge session. And again, I just wanted to, I'm just going to system builder while I'm in here. So share it again. Okay. So the Business Edge is another way of talking about how you can grow a business. Again, it's an advisory tool, but it's a really nice, gentle way of doing things. And I have to admit that I used it. I mean, when I was in practice, we didn't have the performance measurement improvement system. We had Business Edge, so this is where we started. And it's a really nice way of having gentle conversations with people. Now you can see that there is around the Business Edge a whole suite of resources. Okay. Most importantly, again, for you to look at first is the service information sheet. If this is something you want to deliver, because this is exactly what you want to explain to your clients. Okay. So what it is it's an actual focus structured, and it says a super intensive 2 to 3 day process. Now you can do that again. We used to do it over 6 half days because nobody can stay focused for a whole day. Okay. And there are 102 steps you can use, but in reality, we never use anything like that. Okay. It's about pointing us through. And what it allows you to do is over 6 sessions, deal with some of this stuff, which again, you will be very happy with because some of this is already built into performance measurement improvement system or things that we've done with you that you can then do with your clients. So first of all, sorting out personal and business goals. Okay. Then dealing with the major challenges, working out what are the key systems you need, thinking about how to sell your products for what they're worth, winning more clients, creating sales systems to make sure that works, thinking about, in this case, customer service, getting your team engaged, having a marketing budget, and then pulling all these ideas into an action planner that has results. So keeping people motivated to move towards a more profitable business. Okay. And again, this is one of those tools where when I was using it, we would have an 100% money back guarantee. The guarantee was on each single session. So that guarantee would not be on the total £3,000. it would be on the £500 per session. So at each session we go, have you had value? Yes, tick that off. We can't claim that one back, that £500. But so you are managing that risk, I guess, is the way to talk about it. So it's a really simple process, okay? It is actually part of a whole suite of stuff that we do, which is called making it happen. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this because it's been silly today. No, not. So making it happen is like a whole intensive 12-month program, but this was like one of the first steps. Now, behind this process, there is a PowerPoint presentation in effect that you go through and ask them questions. So if I just show you very basically, you can see it on screen, here we go. So what it does is you would download it, it has tools, and it allows you to then go through with the client, what are the key areas? So for each of the sessions, we're going to talk about something that's big picture, we'll talk about selling more, something that's internal, nuts and bolts systems, something that's mobily leading edge that will make them think differently. And on each of these, all it does is give you some questions to ask them. So again, for you, you can go through them and go, okay, how can it be called success if you're not enjoying it? That's the obvious one. So why aren't you enjoying it? What is it that gets frustrated? You know, and you start getting some detail about key things that are going on. And so you can go through all those questions. Now, what Jenny has done is behind the scenes, she has created a toolkit for you. So if you want, there we go. Can you see the toolkit? Yeah, brilliant, thank you. So what it's done is it's allowed you to pull through everything if you want to deliver the business edge. Okay, and the process, the system, which is in System Builder, is that you don't go through everything. What you do is you select a number of questions. And what you find, what we used to find was there was probably 6 or 7 questions that would just, when you asked them, it would just open up a whole floodgates of them telling you stuff about their business. So what Jenny's done is actually go, okay, if you want to run the business edge, okay, through a series of sessions, you might want to, first of all, make sure you've got everything downloaded. So this is all the system for running it, and the software and the service request sheets and the PowerPoint. But then you might want to go, okay, there are some things here that I'm really interested in doing. So again, if you remember, we talked about goals. Okay. Now, for every one of these, there is a resource for you, okay, and a resource for them. So this is before the resource, you're going to give them the 24, you're going to have ready, it's a 24-hour action plan, which most of you have done with here. And you're going to, in the bottom, there's an expert in a box. So I've talked about this in resources before, that actually we need to have got them planned. So in this case, the system, in this case for the first meeting, in this case is you send out the 24-hour action plan before the meeting, you get it back before the meeting, you have a look, and then in the meeting you discuss what they've written, find out what their key goals are, why do they want them, what must they do to get them, and obviously then what actions do they need to take. Okay, so it gives you a process of being able to connect through from the spreadsheet if you want to, or just minimize that. Some of them actually do have handouts, like the 24-hour goal setting tool. One of them's here is an agenda for change. One of them's a SWOT analysis. So these are things that if you decide that this is something we probably want to talk about, you can get the link here and print them out and have them already branded as your stuff, ready to go out and planning so that you've got those agendas. Now, in the software, in System Builder, sorry, I'll just minimize that again. Go back into System Builder. It is really nicely structured, and the system's really good because what it does, just put an edge again. Okay. System. Okay. So the system has everything you need. It has the guidance. It has the toolkit so you can find the resources you need. It's got a checklist of things that you need to get ready before you start. So for example, you know, have you made sure that you've got an invoice ready? Have you got a room booked? Have you got some stuff ready on the agenda? In this case, often we say show them the Gerber video or give them the small business success book and have the action planner. So you've got everything ready, planned. And then on top of that, you've got agendas for each session. So for every session, we've got an agenda. So in this case, agenda session 1, which for some reason I'm going through, okay, this is what we're going to cover. Are you really enjoying it? What are your challenges, your business potential? So you could use simple stuff that works or business potential to actually show them that opportunity. Small business success. So that's talking about some of the Gerber ideas about systemization, looking at big picture. So that's discussing the 24-hour action plan. And then getting and keeping customers, some a little bit of sexy sales stuff. So that could be something that you do in SSTW, pull out a bit. So every session's booked in there. So if it's something that you really want to deliver, if you want to be doing some real hands-on helping people grow, there is already a structured process. So here in session 2, here are the things that we think we need to talk about. We need to talk about the action plan that you took last time, what you're doing. Have another look at those 24-hour action plan, the goals, to check they're right. And then there are different resources here that might be useful to talk about. Okay, excuse me. So we used to run it and it was quite surprising. We ran it for all sizes of business, and that's the thing. I think often what we say is that we think that only big businesses need this support, but we ran this on a photographer who just, you know, he photographed fruit, you know, for handouts and catalogs, and you know, it was just still life things he printed, and it wasn't making a lot of money, but being able to have a structured process, that hand holding, that sessions, 6 sessions, and we just did like 1 a month where we went, or you know, once every 3 weeks possibly, I think we did with him, to just keep things moving. It's a great eye opener for them. They may not be in a position where they've got tons of numbers and they've got all this sort of passion for having a huge business, but that doesn't mean that they can't benefit from some business advice. And so this might be another tool that might be useful to you. So that's really what I wanted to show you. There are lots of things already in System Builder, depending on how detailed you want to go. So first steps, we always say, don't we, look at perhaps just doing a benchmark because they'll be used to your numbers. Perhaps use the on-track review to the key improvement possibilities to just open their eyes to the fact that you do more than the numbers. Then go to the PMI folder, Performance Measure Improvement System, and help them see different areas of that. But actually there are some people where just having some one-to-one time with you is what they really want. And they actually just need that time to sit and think strategically. And that's what the Business Edge does. It's less on the numbers and it's more about strategic thinking about what are they doing with their businesses. And so for some of those businesses that are quite young as well, you know, not necessarily the exact startups, but maybe they're a year in and they thought it was all going to be a bed of roses. Yeah, they thought I'd start my own business, I'd have lots of time, I'd have control over what I was doing, you know, it would all come easy. For some of those, they actually might benefit from Business Edge because they need to stop and go, okay, now it's not a hobby anymore. This is a business. So what is going to be your strategy? How are you going to make this a business? So really important. Sorry, I've just read right. Business Edge advisory subscription. Yes, it is. Do you think some of these steps are more relevant where the businesses has clients that stay for a long term? Yes. So yes, there are a lot more, Libby, things about keeping customers, retaining customers, and making sure that the service experience keeps people, yeah, as opposed to just, I think, sometimes we focus purely on getting new customers, don't we? And actually there is a lot of where business client, it's about how do you keep them. that there is a loyalty for a long-term client, a long-term customer, but ultimately price is part of a choice with things, isn't it? So how do you make the value of that more important so that price becomes less of an issue and the value is the important bit? Has anybody got any questions? Because I've shown you quite a lot of, I know, Michael, sorry, you've got your head in your hands going, what is she talking about today? There's a breadth of information in System Build. That's what I want to say to you. And if at any point you don't know what you think is the best solution, please just give me a call or drop me an email and say, I've got a client, they're like this is the issue. What do you think is my best in? What do you think is my best option? Okay. Because I've used this stuff, I've got experience, I know what other accountants have been doing. So take advantage is what I'm saying of all of the practice growth experts, but you don't have to just stick to your own, ask us all. Okay, and if I don't know an answer, I will obviously put you in touch with somebody else who does. Okay. Right, so as of, if there are no questions or anything else, is there anything else? Yeah, I'm sorry it is a bit high speed, but again, I don't want to overwhelm you, so I just want to show you what's there. And then if it is something you're interested in, let me know and we'll book a proper training session and we'll work through it with a client in mind. That's usually one of the best things to do. Think about who you want to work with. Yeah, Michael, you got a question?
Yes, Emma, thank you. Yeah, it's very helpful. These sessions, the software sessions that are on on twice a month, are they recorded? Because I think it'd be good if they're recorded. You can go through the recording again, work in your own time.
Yeah, so we record every Tuesday session and we stuck them up in our YouTube channel.
Right.
If
Okay,
you go to
very good.
AVN Inspiring Accountants, make sure it's the Inspiring Accountants one, not the other one. Then you'll see ours. That I put them up every week. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, that'd be very useful. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Well, thank you all for your time today. So as of next week, we start the first and third resources and stuff like this I've done today. And then the second and fourth is more software focused. General overview of the software, but then drilling into anything that you think you need. Okay. So let me know if you need anything in between time, and otherwise, have a lovely day. Take care, everybody. Bye.